Ladies and gentlemen, we are here in the Roofing on the Rise studios for another broadcast where we bring you innovation and education in today's market. Today and every day, we are sponsored by the Chad T. Wilson Law Firm. When the insurance company denies, delays, and defends their position, reach out to me. I'll get you in contact with the right people over at Chad T. Wilson Law Firm. You and your clients deserve Chad T. Wilson. Now, today and every day, we have not only an awesome topic, but a guest. And today will be no different. Today, we have Montgomery Rockey. What is going on, bro?
What's up, my man? How are you doing?
Man, I am super, super stoked to have you on. Want to pop up your name on the screen here. That way, everybody can see it. Uh, Bro, what has been going on? It's been a while since the last time I seen you.
Yeah, no, I think last time we saw each other in person was out at the Augusta Pines golf course.
Yeah,
Definitely,
that was a
definitely had
fun.
some good times out there, that's for sure.
Yeah,
But man, we've been staying busy, with the storms that have come through the city here recently since May. It's been, slam packed, which is always a blessing. One of our main philosophies is we're not just taking care of ourselves, we're taking care of customers whenever we get to, do this type of work, especially after these major storms from the derecho to, the hurricane that hit early July. There's a lot of people in need, a lot of people that have, not only roofing issues, interior leaks, things like that. So we've been really slam packed, both on the residential and commercial side since, early May. It seems like a lot of our guys are getting a lot of time off here recently.
yeah, that's and they need it. They need it. I know that one of the guys that works for you is a good friend of mine, Connor Mack. Big shout out to Connor Mack, your friendly neighborhood
So,
roof. Uh, he absolutely loves it, and I know he just got like a new position over there, where I think he focuses on just commercial now, right? Is that right?
yeah, so Connor's been in the industry and been an asset to hundreds, if not thousands, of homeowners over his course and his career within the industry itself. We have a full service commercial division. I got some big hitters on that side that we brought in from Nations and Stellar Roofing, and
Yeah,
you name it. We probably have people from over there. And Connor really is came to life on that side of the game. It's been a new challenge for him. He's definitely embraced it, definitely dove, head first into that side of the industry. He has a couple of big products that are in the work that will be, starting here soon. So it's been great, awesome to see his growth. He's been with us for almost 2 years now. So, here recently, the last 6 to 8 months, he's kind of really taken the bull by the horns on the commercial side. Developed a lot of great relationships. Like I said, he has a couple of massive projects that are getting ready to kick off here to end the year strong.
and ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that do not know, uh, Montgomery is the spearhead, the absolute visionary over at Core Four Construction, aka Boss Man. Uh, and I absolutely love the brand, the colors, killed it on all that. Uh, the wraps, dog, the wraps on the trucks. And listen, if you guys are out there, you could take some notes from a guy like this. And hold on. How old are you, bro?
24, man. I turned 25 in December.
Bruh, Mazel tov, dog. Like you have definitely built a organization that is a force to be reckoned with in our market and other markets. Uh, Not only that, but you have provided stable work environments for people, uh, and that does things for individuals. It's psychological, it's physical. You're helping the next generation. I'll go back to Connor because I know Connor, right? He's got a brand new baby, and bringing it. It's the most awesome thing, and he's at the right spot, and so that's why I'm excited to be able to have you on. And if you're watching and you're just like, bro, what is Core 4? Look them up on Facebook. And how else can people find you, bro?
Our website, we've worked with some great people within the industry. Shout out to Mike Stearns and the Ascend team that built out our website for us. Roofing.com. Facebook, Google, Instagram. You look up the name and you'll find us. So we try and make ourselves, not difficult to find. Probably see a couple of our trucks on, 45, 290, 249. The wraps that we have aren't hard to miss, and get a couple more exciting ones coming soon. So
Oh, really?
yes, sir. Yeah, I
Wait.
got an idea. I'm gonna blow these, or if you've seen our logo, we got a bunch of triangles and a hexagon. My next idea for a wrap, I'm gonna blow these triangles up and make it the entire wrap. I'd wanted to get a Cybertruck and do it. My partner though is in the oil industry, so he's not too fond of the Cybertrucks, but we're working on them.
All right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. So I was gonna bring that up. That's kind of one of the topics that I've been bringing up in like the past 10 episodes. I think it's a crucial one because it's relevant. It's a relevant topic. You want to get a Cybertruck for marketing.
Exactly, man. I think that they're just. I mean, you see those things rolling down the road, dude, and you know what they are. I mean, they turn heads left and right. I mean, I would argue that you get more attention from a Cybertruck than you do from, a Corvette. Definitely some of your base, quote unquote, designer supercars. Your Porsches and stuff like that are nice, man. But everyone sees Porsches driving down the road. Then Cybertrucks, especially, you get a nice wrap on it, metallic, something like that. And I think that the corners and the sharp angles that really would complement our logo. And we take those triangles and blow them up all over it, man. It's gonna be
Oh.
hard to miss.
Have you got a mock up of the wrap on the truck?
Yeah, we've taken a look at a couple of them with our wrap shops. Like I said, we got it narrowed down. It's just a matter of convincing some of our people here that it would make sense to do.
All right. So my opinion is that they look like rolling refrigerators.
Yeah, no, they're bulky, man. They're bulky.
Yeah, I mean, so and I've seen inside of them. I haven't rode inside of one yet. I have a few friends that have them, uh, but it's not like they're quote unquote daily, right? Like it doesn't make sense to like load, you know, 50, 100 2x4s into the back of it. First, I don't think that you could physically do it unless you
Yeah,
did. No, I don't think so. So that it makes kind of the rear almost non-practical. It's only practical for certain uses, right? Whatever can kind of fit in the back. But yeah, for me, the Cybertrucks were coming out kind of the time that I got my car. I've never had a car. I've always had trucks. And so for me, this time I went for the car.
you got a nice one too, man.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Next time, yeah, I'm gonna go for the car too. I don't know if I don't know if I can do the Cybertruck, dude. It's just also I've talked so much smack online, so much, so much. So if I buy one, man, I'm not gonna live it down.
Yeah, no, man. They're not very. I don't know about the practicality of them, especially with how much I drive. I mean, man, coming from this side of the industry. Like for example, today I started the morning out with Connor up in Conroe, north side of Conroe, up by the
Yeah,
lake, and we were looking at a project up there that we had going on. We're doing a couple sidewalks on. I mean, man, immediately from there, I was headed out to Pearland and looking at a remodel, complete rebuild of a garage and
dude.
addition of a patio, redoing an entire 2,500 square foot house on the inside. Um, man, I like my time. I don't want to sit on the side of the road charging that thing for 2 or 3 hours at a time. But in terms of we do a lot of events and stuff like that. We try to really emphasize giving back to the community and being a part of our community. So.
Yes,
You roll up to an event like that, a fall festival, something like that, man. You park that thing there on the grass, or even a home and garden show. You park that thing up on the showroom. You're going to have people that come by taking pictures of it. You throw a cool wrap on top of it, and it's getting even more attention. So
I agree. I agree. I agree. I agree. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if I buy a Tesla Cybertruck in the future, it's because of Core 4 construction. Just saying, it's the only reason why I'd buy one.
yes, sir.
You convinced me. The show when you said the showroom floor, because like uh I like conferences and trade shows, and I don't think I know. I've met so many people, and my network has grown so much from conferences and trade shows that I know if I had the Cybertruck, I'd go ahead and get the booth, the extra large booth, and I'd stick that thing in the middle, and you really don't even need anything besides like the Cybertruck.
Yeah.
Even I know you've got some really nice like pop-ups and stuff like that. Boom, pop-up, lawn chairs, tables, contingencies. Wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Let's go. We're signing you up for a free roof inspection.
That's it.
Let's do this, baby.
Yeah, no, we try to we try to put a lot of thought behind brand awareness and marketing as a whole. That's one of the things we've come up with. I think it's our generation's versions of the ambulances and stuff like that. A little bit more efficient than driving around an ambulance that has your wrap on it. That's for sure.
Yeah. So, have you done any trips this year?
Vacations or business wise.
Well, I mean, sometimes you could do like businesscation, but let's start with some like what you do outside of work. Like, did you do anything this year? Any kind of vacations this year for you?
Yeah, man. I started off the year. We took a cruise. Me and my girlfriend. We
Okay,
took a cruise. We went from Honduras to a couple stops in Mexico as well.
okay.
And earlier in the summer, right when we got a little break, right in between that derecho and that hurricane, we went for about 7 to 10 days out to Reno, Nevada, Lake Tahoe area.
Oh,
Man, I'm
nice.
not. I like going to Vegas and stuff like that, man. But I'm not too keen on all them people. And right at the time that we were looking to go was the WSOP. I played poker too a little bit, but my girl doesn't like me being gone for 7 to 10 hours at a time, especially when we're on vacation. So we went out to Reno, went out to Lake Tahoe, man. It's absolutely beautiful out there.
Heck yeah.
And honestly, we've been too swamped to go anywhere. I think in the fall, the winter, probably around Thanksgiving, we're going to try and get up to New York, kind of bounce around from New York to Boston and Philadelphia. And then I think December 27th, I'm in talks right now with my SRS rep. Shout out to Ryan to go out for the SRS Bowl out in Vegas. A little bit of SEC, former Pac-12 action. So
Okay.
definitely make that happen.
All right. No hunting this year.
Man, it's one of those things. I got into archery this year. We actually, a couple of my guys, Connor and another one of my guys, Chris, will be out on Thursday, Friday doing a dove hunt. I got a fairly large project that we're doing that day, so I need to be here and manage that relationship with that client. But my guys are going dove hunting. I think I just got into archery, man. So I think I'm going to try and go shoot either an axis
Oh,
or maybe a
okay.
big whitetail at one of these ranches we got around here.
Hey, I love being able to kick back and go and enjoy the fruits of the labor. I mean, what else do we do this for, right?
Absolutely. That's what I just told one of my guys. A lot of us are in roofing because we realize one, we can help people. Two, we can make a killer income doing it. No one's spending 6 to 8 hours a day up on top of these roofs, especially during the summertime at 140, 150 degrees surface temperature. Because roofing is what they necessarily enjoy doing. It's not the most glamorous job, but at the end of the day, you get to make a difference. You also get to make a pretty sizable income without any of the prerequisites that being a lawyer, doctor, anything like that, require of you.
Come on, hey man, like that's the freedom of the roofing industry. I absolutely love it. It's when it's what changed my life. I mean, and I know Connors, and I'm sure everyone that's in roofing. Heck, I know someone here in Houston, dude. Just I I guess it's called taking, or let me not screw this completely up. Okay, what did he say? It was taking delivery of a new STO. It's like one of 8 in the world STO Lamborghinis, roofing contractor here in
Yeah,
Houston. Not a flashy guy. Um, got the car, didn't drive it, just took the car, put it in the garage immediately when they went to work. Immediately went to work. There was no questions asked in his mind. And that's what I really love about the roofing industry is I know more millionaires in the roofing industry than anyone, like any industry out there besides maybe oil. But like personally, me knowing people more in the trades than anything.
Definitely. Yeah, it makes most sense to try and get into these trades, man. I mean, especially with the rising cost of tuition at these universities. And that's what I was planning to do, man. Growing up, I always wanted to be a lawyer. That's kind of what
Really,
yeah, yeah, I loved it, man. And my
really.
career, I was going to go to transfer to A&M.
Okay.
I came back here for a summer. My mom happened to be buying a house from someone. And the guy's like, hey, listen, man, the least I can do, he owned a roofing company at the time. And so the least I can do is offer you a job. I got started, man, and soon after that, I was hooked. Worked the summer from about May to July, August. It was time to go back to school. And said, hey, mom, I don't think I want to do that. Sold a couple of pretty big jobs in a matter of a couple months, and from 18 on, was hooked, and didn't really ever want to do anything else, particularly now. But yeah, it's an amazing industry, man, and like I
So you
said,
wouldn't go back? You wouldn't go back and do something else?
no, I honestly don't think I would, especially the experiences and the people that I've met. I mean, man, I grew up in Houston, a local Houstonian, born and raised. I've seen the worst of some of the things that have happened here from, Hurricane Harvey hitting in 2017. I was, let's see, 16, 17 at the time, so I was old enough to realize what was going on and the destruction and the loss that was around me. I remember it being one of those things, man, where all you wanted to do was help, right? And, being younger, you really didn't have an outlet to help beyond doing clothing drives and food drives and things like that, and just trying to make any difference that you can. And so now, fast forward to, spring of 2022, whenever those tornadoes hit down in Deer Park, and being able to actually go down there with my team and, do free tarping and make sure people can get their lives back on track, and be proactively engaged in the rebuilding of our communities after these disasters. I mean, there's really nothing. I tell people all the time that, me helping you helps me just as much. Wake up in the morning and get going. It's easy to wake up and oh man, I don't want to do this every day, man. Like being on these roofs sucks, but when you have Mr. and Mrs. Smith who have lived in their house for 35 years and a tree falls through the back of it, and they're trusting you and coming to you to not only reframe the house, redo their roof, redo the inside, and get them back to normal. There's different level of respect and trust that there has to be there in order for them to do that with you. And so, being here from the community, I take pride in it, man. And I really wouldn't change anything that we've done or that's led us to this point. If I could do it again all over, I'd do it the same exact way. So, I love it. And being able to be hands-on is one of those things that you can't take for granted.
I agree with that. Harvey, all I wanted to do was help. I wish I had a boat at that time that I could come down and put in the water and help people. And I actually teamed up with Crest Exteriors, Logan Graff, and Sam Struthers, now Apple Roofing. A big outfit, private equity, I believe, acquired. I think that's 100% correct there. Um, one of those companies that just started from the bottom and just grew and was able to leverage relationships like yourself. Just a really awesome, cool environment. I know that you got kind of a younger crowd there, and it's awesome because you know you're helping the community and you're a part of the community and you're giving back to the community and you built an organization that does that, and that's admirable. I really again, my hats off to you. And the same thing, you know I feel like if you're anyone that has a heart, you just want to help in situations like that, especially like the tornadoes down there in Deer Park. And I want to give a shout out to our law enforcement and first responders for acting so quickly and all of these and sacrificing, going over and above, and for everyone that may have lost a loved one and or property during that time. These are monumental things that have happened in our community that are just devastating. And and being able to rely on someone is super important. So if you're out there and you're watching and you're like, dude, I just, I don't know who to trust. Tell you what, a roofing company that you can trust is Core 4. They will take care of you 100%. And they're not paying me to say that. I know that just because, I've got friends that work for them. I've seen their work, and I've seen their work in the community. So I really do. And if you're out there, Core 4 is there for you, and they'll take care of you.
Absolutely.
Dude, so all right. There has been all sorts of drama. I know you're not like a real drama guy. Like you're real. I respect that out of you. You're just so uh respectful. You're a gentleman. And I respect that. But there's just so much crap going on right now. It's like, bruh, are you paying attention to like politics and Diddy? Bro, Diddy, come on, man. Like,
Man,
did, did
a,
Diddy do it?
I have a 13-year-old brother, man, and he makes me feel old, dude, because some of the terminology, like I said, I'm only 24, man, and some of the terminology, I think I'm hip to what's going on nowadays. Man,
Oh,
every other word out of his mouth is no Diddy, and he goes on and on about all types of stuff he hears on TikTok, and yeah, it's a crazy, interesting time, man, that we find ourselves in. I think a lot of like the old saying, what's done in the light always, what's done in the dark always comes to the light. So it's one of those things where it's crazy and it's been interesting. You just got to sit back with your popcorn and enjoy the show.
dude, it's like one thing after another, but it's weird, that they're singling out a billionaire and actually going after it. I know that if there wasn't social media, that this would have never happened. Like, Diddy would have never gotten any kind of attention. Hell, I'll get her to say that probably Cosby. You know, if we wouldn't have this broad stream media, now we've always had Dr. Phil. So if it didn't happen on Facebook, it happened on Dr. Phil back in the day. So I know you're young. I know you're younger. So back in the day, I'm only 10 years. Like I'm like 10 years, 9 years, eight.
Yeah, the highlight of Dr. Phil for my generation, it seems, was the Catch Me Outside girl. That's about what
Oh,
everyone knows Dr. Phil for.
dog, that chick is wild. She's still making retarded money. It's just like stupid money. Excuse me. I don't want to offend anybody out there.
Yeah,
Um,
no, but there are some crazy. I've heard some crazy theories on the Diddy stuff. Apparently, he was approached by a girl that attended one of his quote unquote freak offs, if you will, and she was like, "Listen, I'm writing a tell-all book. You can buy the rights to the book for 30 million, and I won't publish it."
oh,
His team turned it down, and she ended up releasing the book and filing a lawsuit. He
dude,
settled it for, you guessed it, 30 million, and then a lot of people are saying if he would have just paid that 30 million up front to buy the rights to that book, that he wouldn't find himself in the situation he's in now because
nah,
it's crazy times.
nah, he definitely would have because
It's a matter of time nowadays, man. They come after you.
I know that's why I was about to say. I feel like they would have taken the 30 million and they would have asked for more.
Yeah.
And so I get. Here's the thing, just don't have freak off sessions. Okay, like uh, I'm listen. Uh, my daughter loves Justin Bieber, and my daughter's 9 years old. She's about to turn 10. She's like 9 going on 16. Okay. And so I'm like, I'm trying to shelter her as much as possible, but not to prepare her for the world. Right. And I think about things like these because their aspirations are so huge. They're so big. And you look at someone like Bieber, and in these videos, I know you've seen him, and I know if you're watching, you've been scrolling, you see him as well. And you're like, dude, this is a child, like an innocent child. And you can tell these kids are just like petrified of this man, just completely petrified. It just like makes my skin crawl, dude. It's ugh.
Yeah, no, I feel like, with social media and as much, quote unquote good as people like to say that it does, I feel like it's, really taken away what it means to be a kid. I mean, even I feel like my generation was kind of the tail end of, the go outside and ride your bikes. Because when I was growing up, I mean, they had MySpace, but
Yeah,
a lot of younger kids weren't really on that. Facebook was becoming big. And there wasn't until I was in sixth, seventh grade, there really wasn't an Instagram, Twitter, anything like that. I think I got a Twitter and Instagram when I was in the eighth or ninth grade. So, I feel like we got kind of the tail end of it, and then the very beginning of the social media kind of revolution. But I feel like it's taken a lot away of what it means to be a kid, to go out and socialize and ride your bikes and go through the neighborhoods and just do the dumb things that kids do. I feel like a lot of that's gone, and they don't really get to see that. You have to intentionally put your kids in those situations nowadays, it seems, and make sure they don't have iPads and make sure that they're not scrolling YouTube for 8 to 12 hours a day. It's crazy.
so yeah, it's hard, because like I do social media a lot, and so I've now on the weekends a little more pretty much try to check out as much as possible. I'll like make a post in the morning. I might not even make a post in the morning, and I'm trying to check out uh, because it's important that you know they're impressionable, and if and I've had my glasses on mainly for like attention, but if my eyes are like and I'm just like and you're talking to me and I'm just like yeah yeah. Would you like if I'm like in a podcast with you right now and I'm talking and you're talking to me, would that like turn you off?
Yeah,
Huh.
man. I mean, it's eye contact, things like that are hard for people to maintain nowadays. And I feel like that's why you get a lack of quality of conversation that actually develops between people, is because they just can't wait to pick up that phone and get that hit of dopamine.
That's it. That's it. And I'm guilty to it. I know we all are, but be present. Be present in the relationships. Be present in your time. I think it's super important. So, all right. So let's switch gears here. Uh, I went golfing the last time we got together. We went golfing, right? Um, have you been golfing recently?
Man, I honestly haven't. So last November, one of my best friends, and he worked here. I trained him up from nothing. He actually passed away very unexpectedly, and that was kind of my right hand man and my golfing partner, dude. And to be honest with you, I think I maybe hit the course once
Yeah.
since last November, and it just I used to be out there all the time, and it's just one of those things that kind of fallen by the wayside. We've been busy too, but a lot of it's kind of it just hasn't it doesn't feel right out there. That's for sure. But I've been working to get back in it, man. I go up to Swing Zone and that new X Golf off of 99 to try and get some swings in and work on it. But yeah, I haven't been out there too much here recently.
So, all right. So you're completely professional, all about business. My condolences, by the way.
I appreciate it.
I know I reached out when that happened. Super tragic. Whenever you lose someone, you lose a piece of yourself, and I get that. Um, I got the chills right now just because I got a buddy. I know exactly what you're feeling. That activity that we did, I don't even pretty much do anymore. So, and it sucks that it's golf, but maybe one day you'll start to fall in love with it again. Um, so let's talk about this storm, like barrel, not so. All right, first off, let's talk about Helene, the storm that's going towards Florida right now.
Yeah.
Are you tracking that? Are you interested in that storm?
Man, so whenever we got started as a company, and prayers for anyone that may be affected by that storm. It's horrible that people have to go through these, but it's a fact of life at this point. And it seems like as years go on, these storms get more and more severe. Hopefully, this one, whenever it makes landfall, isn't too crazy. But whenever we got started, man, it was one of those things where, dude, I despise the storm chaser mentality, and hey, listen, we're gonna go here, 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 and follow the storm. So I really don't pay attention to much. Broadly, I'll see the posts, and obviously, roofing, as big of an industry as it is, it's really small. A
You're
lot of
right.
people that are working in different states, and so I keep up with their posts and kind of what they're looking out for. If they need any help in any ways, in terms of supplies, materials, anything like that, because we know when those storms hit, your immediate drying materials will shoot up in price, or will be hard to come by. So if there's anything we can do to facilitate getting those taken care of, we try to. But for the
Wait,
most part, man,
what did you just say?
like drying materials, stuff like that for tarping,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah. What does it do?
it goes up in material
It,
prices. Man.
it what? It what? It what?
It rises. They get hit with one of those 12 to 20% increase notices. It seems like we get those about once a quarter nowadays. So
What's up with that?
man, I think it's a mixture. The manufacturers like to say, "Oh, well, rising material pricing and asphalt and X, Y,
Yada
Z."
yada.
I mean, I think it was during the pandemic, man. I think these guys, as well as a lot of industries, I think that they realized that people, if you charge X amount and then you raise
They
it
got
to Y
charged.
amount, people still
They
have to
got,
buy the product, right? So they may bitch and moan about it. Excuse my language, sorry about that.
nah,
But
you're good.
they'll still buy the product at the end of the day, right? So I think manufacturers wised up to that and said, hey, you know what? Let's just keep doing it. So
They,
it's
you're
great.
right. You hit it right on the head. It's like they figured out in COVID that if they would send out allocations on materials and that they would increase that price and that you would buy it because you can't get it anywhere else, that is their new marketing technique. And if you are savvy to this, then you'll get creative. But it's hard to get creative with these reps, and these big organizations are just, they're in control. You hit it on the head. These are manufacturers. These are, manufacturers pass it on to the distributors. But in what uh industry do you see the cost of raw goods continue to skyrocket and never go down?
Yeah, we're basically the only one. And I use this point to customers. Whenever we'll come out 6 months before and do an estimate, and they
Yeah.
we come out 8 months later and do an estimate. Like, well, why is it higher than your estimate back then? I tell them to it just like this. Like, listen, the S&P 500 historically rises about 11 and 12% per year. Roofing materials since the pandemic have rose 8 to 12% per quarter. Basically very regularly. So it's not one of those things where I don't want to enjoy charging you more when I'm not making any more. I mean, it's going direct to rising material costs.
But you hit it on the head. You're getting ready for, these storms, and you want to buy before the storm actually gets close, because they're going to jack the prices up already from what they're already jacking it. So they're already jacking it 8 to 10%, sometimes 12%, like you said. Some of these big box stores are taking, they're getting their margin back. And uh and it's affecting bottom dollar. It's affecting the square price. So if you're out there and you've been selling at $275 a square since 2012, you had to change, or you're buying from the resale lot. There's no other way. And there's, that's kind of the next kind of, thing out that's out there. Was like all the theft in the last year, right? Did you hear about all that?
No, not too much.
Man, we had trucks stolen all over Houston and Dallas. There were like 20 plus trucks stolen, complete trucks.
That's
Whole,
crazy.
whole
I
group
just
of,
tried to order. I just tried to order. What was it? Some IKO Dynasty Monaco Red, And the
Yeah.
supplier we were working with told me, they go, "Hey, listen, we had it parked outside of on a truck outside of our lot for about a day, and someone stole the entire truck worth of material." I was like, "Man."
See? See
I
what
saw
I'm
a video. I saw a
All right.
video on Facebook the other day. Someone backing a U-Haul into someone's driveway and loading up all their shingles. Yeah, be a
We
bad
out
day to do that to my job site.
we out here. We in H Town. If you're wondering where we're at, this is Houston, Texas. Okay. It happens. I mean, I remember in San Antonio, theft was especially during like storm times or right before or right during or right after storms. Um, we definitely had to roof load, and I generally like to roof load day of the build,
Yeah.
not any time around, not a day before. And I know you guys are out there, and you're like, I like to inventory my job. I want to make sure that it's there. And if we have any issues, we don't have any issues because we got a really good production prop. I know you have an awesome production department. You're awesome. But in these times, you got to roll with the punches. And in San Antonio, if you didn't put it on the roof, it was stolen. It, it was gone. It was
It's the
gone.
Wild Wild West out here, man.
That's what's crazy is, it very much is a wild wild west. I guess that's the next thing I'd like to talk about is what do you think about licensing?
Man, it's a mixed topic, really. There are pros and there are cons to it, and I'll start with the cons. I think that you have a lot of people and a lot of great companies out here currently that, depending on what type of requirements are on the licensing in the state, I think some of the companies that you have, may not be in existence, whether it be owners' backgrounds or things like that. There's a lot of great people that make mistakes, and it would disqualify them from, owning a roofing company or getting a license or whatever it may be. I would like to see a licensing or some type of requirements beyond, hey, go start an LLC and call yourself a roofing company. Now I've been in that boat, right? That it's you don't just jump off a cliff and become an expert in roofing one day after selling roofs for 6 months. But it takes time. You got to dedicate yourself to your craft. I think we should at least, at minimum, have some testing requirements. At standard application procedures. The different TWIA regulations, what those are, how they affect, where they need to have them. I think we need to start implementing some type of barriers to entry within the industry. Otherwise, every time a hurricane hits, I mean, another 3,000 roofing companies are going to open up. And the way I
Yep.
paint the picture, man, I don't really look at anyone in the industry as competition per se. Houston, there's enough roofs out here, dude. If I had a 5,000 person sales team, we wouldn't be able to take care of the amount of roofs that are out here.
Yeah.
So, the more the merrier. But at the end of the day, I feel that those guys that are out here should be tested. They should know what they're talking about. And we should have some at least baseline of, hey, listen, we understand that you know this much about roofing. Let's go ahead and issue you a license or something like that.
So
I just would hate to see regulations put on the industry that would keep honest people that make mistakes out of the industry. I think that's my biggest thing with it and kind of the one con to it. But
expound on that. Okay, I understand this because and ladies and gentlemen, this is a very second chance uh type of industry. Um from a very wide variety of different types of things that you may experience in life. I myself was a alcoholic, and I was separated from my family. So there was some legal stuff that had to do with that. Um, so like I get it. But tell me what you think. Where's the line? Like where can we like say, okay, here's right and here's wrong. Where is that? Like where is that line?
yeah, man. I mean that line for me really comes down to really like violent crimes and things like that, right? Like I
Okay.
grew up, so people that don't know, I don't know my dad. Never met my birth father.
Same.
My mom, her mother was, she died at 45 of a drug overdose. The friend that I mentioned that passed also had drug issues, stuff like that. So it's one of those things. Man, growing up, I've been around addiction and seen what it does to people. And I think that addiction's a disease. Anyone that's been through it or been around it knows that it's not something that a person chooses to do on a day-to-day basis. There's something either wrong with their brain chemistry or the way that they think about themselves that causes them to repeat these cycles. Especially when you have people being taken away from their families and stuff like that. So that's more so. There's great industry groups like Paul Reed, Roofing and Recoveries. I've talked to Roofers and Recovery. I'm sorry.
Big shout out to Paul
Yeah,
and
man, him and Miss Kim, they're awesome people. Talk with them on numerous occasions. They're great, and I tell them all the time that they're angels to the industry. But I think that
let
guys
me
like that, yeah, I think guys like that deserve a second chance. I'm not a proponent
Paul
of
Paul has a history. I mean,
yeah,
Paul has history. I know a lot of really big outfits that have a huge big. I mean, they've done very hard time. I mean, hard time, bro. And they're completely different people now, and they're giving back to the community, and they wouldn't have that unless they had roofing and this opportunity. And excuse me, I'm not going to say that's very presumptuous, because there's businesses very broad. It's out there, it's crazy, and you can do anything. If you're sitting out there and you're coming out, or you're listening in prison, because you can do that on Spotify, and you're like, what do I do? You do the next right thing, and you start and you do it now. And you got this. Like, you can do this, and there are other people like you, right? I think it's important that that we have that sort of a community and that relation with everyone, because man, you hit some really good topics there. These you got background, uh, start an LLC, so that's pretty important. That's legal documents that you need. So not just a DBA. You can't just come in here and grab a bunch of jobs underneath an assumed name. You got to be legit with a company. I would I would add to that and say insurance.
without a doubt, not just general liability insurance, but if you have employees, you need to be having workers' comp,
Yes.
making sure that if anything happens to those guys, because I don't know how many guys you personally know that have fallen off the roof, but I know a handful. And
Yeah.
as much as we like to say, oh, you fall off a two-story roof, your life's never going to be the same, no matter which way you look at it. So
If you recover.
yeah, if you recover, if you're not paralyzed or better yet, dead. And so I think that you need to have the proper coverages in place. If something does go wrong, you can rest assured knowing that, hey, listen, my guys are taken care of. My sales reps, my crews that are doing installations, my customers at the end of the day aren't going to be held liable, because that's not what they signed up for. They signed up for you to come out and replace their roof and do it in a professional manner, abiding by the safety guidelines and things like that, and having your proper coverages in place, that way they're not at risk. So I think those are bare minimums. And like I said, I think there's pros, there's cons to it. I think there's a lot more pros than cons. The one thing I would hate to see is this go from when we have so many great people that are in the industry and so many great leaders within the industry to for lack of better terms, a suit and tie type. You need $3 million to start a roofing company.
I agree. I think that there's got to be like separation of church and state type thing, right?
So
Like, you got to have a real fine line there. But you made very solid points. You made a point that I thought about, but I haven't thought of being like the main the part of the licensing, strategy and our requirements. But you're like, Texas Windstorm Association, and for those of you that are from the area, you know exactly who they are. They are an organization that uh, it has been known to pay claims, but not right after a hurricane. Not only that, but they're also there to make sure that on the coastline, because we share a coast with the Gulf of Mexico, that we're getting a lot of salt, we're getting a lot of wind. That these properties, especially in what's considered like wind zone one, wind zone two, that these properties have the proper, and this may sound stupid to you, but nails. So if you're like up in the north or Midwest, or you're in Oklahoma, um, you may think like, whoa, nails? Like you got to have a specific, we got to have a specific type of nail so that it doesn't rust. You made a valid point that that needs to be a part of the testing requirements, especially for a state like Texas. You
Yeah, you
know,
know,
I
not just nails either. You know, nailing patterns as well. I mean,
yes,
both on the synthetic and your shingles themselves. I mean, there's specific ways that
yes,
these things have to be installed. And you know, speaking of the lack of education, I mean, we've had roofs that other contractors have installed that customers have called us out to. Hey, listen, you know, I went to go renew my insurance. They said I didn't have a windstorm certification on the roof. I don't know how
ooh,
that's possible. I, you know, got my roof done 8 months ago. And we come
ooh,
out there and we look and say, okay, was there an engineer on site the day of? Did he issue your BPI 1, your BPI 2, and did you get your BPI 8? What are you talking about? You know, the company that came out here charged me $9,000 and got it done in, you know, half a day. Okay, well, did they hand nail or did they use gun nails or what did they do? Oh, well, they, you know, gun nailed it 4 nails per shingle. And okay, well, listen, we'll go look at a couple areas on your roof, but you know, hate to tell you, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, you're gonna have to replace this 8-month-old roof, and an engineer's gonna have to be out here during the course of construction. And so I think a lot of customers don't know, man. I mean, especially in today's economy, dude. I mean, they just go with, they see a price, they may not have that much money in the bank. They say, listen, I don't have the luxury of, you know, spending the extra $6,000 on, you know, a core four roof, for example. You know, I don't have the money
ooh, I like that. That's
for
what
all
you
the bells and whistles. You know, we want to keep it basic, and you know, we just need to make sure our home's dry on the inside. And they get taken advantage of by, you know, a contractor that either doesn't know or doesn't care. In my book, you know, those are both, you're equally as liable for both of those. If you don't know, you know, you should know, especially if you call yourself a professional in this industry and serving that market in particular. And if you don't care, you know, shame on you for taking money from people, and you know, you really shouldn't be around very much longer in this industry.
Mm. So I got a couple topics before we wrap this up. Um, Private equity. Are you guys looking at being purchased in the future? Are you going to hold out and be one of those companies that provides jobs, and you're the local guy? Are you looking to do the PE buyout in the future?
Man, long term, potentially, you know, it's definitely an interesting topic that's becoming more and more relevant nowadays.
Yeah.
My outlook on it is, man, I'm 24. Like I said, I turned 25 later this year.
Yeah.
I'm not in a rush to do anything, man. I won't compromise my values or the brand that I've built serving this community just for a chunk of money, dude. I mean, that's just not who I am, not how I'm wired. I would rather earn it over the course of, you know, 10, 15 years,
I love that.
and, you know, be able to do it my way rather than, you know, have to sell out to a corporate private equity firm, something like that, that's going to come in and cut corners and do stuff like that. You know, we're really focused on not only our employees, but our company as well, making sure that we're not only a great company to work for, but to work with
Yeah.
throughout the course of your project. And so, you know, 10, 15 years from now, if the right opportunity comes, led by the right people, and then, hey, listen, this is how we're going to do it, potentially. But in the short term, I mean, I'm not in it for, you know, for the old saying, a pump and dump, for example.
Yeah.
It's just not what we're looking for, and not what any of our objectives are.
That ladies and gentlemen, if you're sitting here and you're watching and you're like, why did he ask that question? Like, is he questioning his character or whatever? No, I'm not questioning character. this is very relevant. There's a lot of people that are preparing to be bought by private equity right now. It's a huge topic that is just sweeping the nation. But it reaffirms what you were talking about earlier, and just kind of how you do business and who you are, and just like that's another reaffirming, like, no, I'm here to stay. You're a man of the community. Um, I think that's admirable. The stance that you have on private equity, um, it's not a popular stance right now. Private equity is, it's the in thing right now. It's like, everybody that you name them, they're talking about it. They're looking at getting bought. So if you're out there, you know, and you're like, I'm not looking at it. You're not alone. There's other people out there that are growing, and I really do, I respect that too, because looking into the community and looking at the overall health of the roofing industry. The next thing I had written down as the last topic is managed repair programs. Um, I don't know if you know what managed repair programs are. Are you familiar with those?
A little bit, not a lot of scale.
So, managed repair program is a program where the insurance carrier partners with the roofing company to be the adjuster on file, right? And they show up and they're like, "Hey, listen, if and this is Johnny from MRP, and they're talking to Mrs. Smith, and they're like, "Hey, Mrs. Smith, if you go ahead and choose to go with us at MRP, we'll waive your deductible." And so they take the claim from the phone, right? "Hi, Mrs. Smith, what happened? What's the lost location? Are you okay?" Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They take it from the phone, and then they just go through, and that's like breaching so many laws. It's crazy, but that's kind of a part of what the big MRP platform is to do, is to kind of get in line with these major corporations, i.e., major box insurance companies, and to become you know, their Pied Piper, basically. You know, I don't
Yeah,
know.
no, I think it's funny when these deductible laws apply to certain people until one side of the industry can save themselves some money, and then all of a sudden the laws that they lobbied for and wanted passed now they don't have to abide by them. I think
Well,
it's
now I mean, you got to, and because we've lobbied so hard against it, I didn't even think about this. I have it written down, but it's not. It's over here. It's kind of a touchy subject. It's TDI versus Blackwater Roofing, and so that is the same thing as like they're dealing with the insurance carriers. Now we've got what's called UPA, unauthorized practice of public adjusting.
mhm.
And so we're not allowed to like say certain things with insurance carriers. I say we, I'm saying as a contractor, you're not allowed to say that. These things like, you know, the policy says it's
Yep.
wrong. Like under UPA, you can't say that. And so these are new things that are navigated. Well, when you take a look at these things, you've got uh these PE companies aligning, and this is really strategic. You got to think about this. We're being set up to fail, but the little guy, okay, little guys getting set up to fail because these big organizations that are getting bought up by PE are aligned by the managed repair program, the MRP, managed repair program, where they're in bed with the insurance carrier, where they are the insurance adjuster. They adjust the loss, they take the loss over the phone, and they offer their services as a contractor for no deductible. So all you do is it's a payment, a claim. It's like taking your car, driving to the shop takes it, and you pay the deductible to the shop, and they do everything, right? In this case, they waive the deductible and they do everything, so you don't see the checks at all. Well, these big corporations are aligning that way so that while they're in this storm environments, they're organized and they come into these 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 areas in which that are our homes, our communities, and they get to play judge, jury, and executioner and cut corners, like you said earlier. So this is what we're up against, and we're not talking enough about it. And so I'm glad you kind of brought that up inadvertently, and I hammered it to death. I'm one of those guys, though, just like, I'm real passionate about the industry. I know you are too. Um, and I'm glad to be able to share some time with you and be able to to call you my friend and be able to refer you guys work and stuff. It's awesome. And what I enjoy is seeing the community that's built within roofing companies, and that there are good ones out there. There are people out there that do care, that do give back, that do want to be, a part of the community, and not just like a part of the community, but that are truly giving back, you know.
Definitely.
So now listen, if you were on the other end and you were listening or you were watching, what do you think would be like the biggest takeaway for you from this podcast?
Yeah, I think biggest takeaway would be to find the right people, make sure you're doing the right thing, and make sure you have the right mission and motivation behind what you do. I think it's easy for people to get caught up in seeing dollar signs and things like that and wondering how can I make an extra 10 cents on the dollar that I'm spending. I think if you abide by your morals and do the things that you say you're going to do and how you plan to do them, I think you'll get far in life no matter what industry you're going to be in. I think the main thing is, do the things you say, focus on your motivation behind doing things, and keep that motivation pure. A lot of people are motivated by money, and very few people that are only motivated by money actually ever end up doing anything. I'm a weird believer in that. The universe gives you what you deserve. Keeping your motivations pure kind of
Ooh,
reciprocates that with it, right?
ooh,
If all you care about money is money, what are you going to do when you get it? Like, it's not going to bring you happiness. It's not going to make you, that much better of a person. Money can't
right.
change your values or your morals. At the end of the day, only your actions can do that. So, I think do the right thing. Focus on working with the right people. Make sure your motivations are pure, and kind of one of those things that I like to try to convey to people. Not only, especially new sales reps that get in the industry, man, they see these commissions and their eyes turn to dollar signs and they just want to keep repeating that process. In that they get so focused on their commissions and what's serving them that they forget what their main purpose of being here is, which is taking
Man,
care of the customer. The moment you
preach it.
put yeah, the moment you put yourself before your customer, you've lost your way. 85%, something like that, statistic of Americans' largest investment is their home. And if you're dealing with property managers, commercial managers, that might not be the same statistic, but at the end of the day, they've invested interest in this property, and if something goes wrong, they're going to be the ones paying for it. So, always keep their wants and their needs above that of your own, and everything will be all right. But do what you say, motivate yourself properly, purely, and overall try and operate with good morals. And that's the types of things we like to convey and the message we hope that we give off.
Are you a religious man?
Yeah, man. And, whenever I was young, I was super, super, super religious. I went through my teen years, I
Let me
led
share some.
led astray off that road. And, as I've been not only a business owner, but in this industry and growing up, it's one of those things where I've gotten more and more, back to oriented around a Christ-centered life, making sure that I'm doing the things and trying to, live, like Christ would in a way, try to portray those values and make sure that we're doing the right thing. And, that's,
So
I believe,
I got two things. One, I want to say that what you said is totally And if you're sitting out here and you're watching, this is Holy Spirit driven. What you're saying right now, completely, I'm telling you, it's conduit straight from God. This is exactly what we read in my Bible study this morning. Before I get into what we read, it's 2 verses, so it's not long. It's not going to bore you. It's quick, but I'm telling you, this is what I want to. I got to share this with you. If you're out there and you're listening, and listen, bro, this is for real. So, I'm telling you, this is in your heart. Okay. Now, first off, Bible study. Okay, contractor fellowship. Should autofocus. If not, it's okay. I will pop it up on the screen. Um, contractor fellowship. So if you're watching on YouTube, it'll pop up on the screen right here. Boom, you click on it, it'll go down over to the contractor fellowship. It's Jim Johnson. He does a weekly Bible study in the morning at 7:30 Central Standard. So for a lot of us, we're like in the car or we're already on a job site or whatever. It's easy to put in an earbud. Maybe even you've got the time after speaking to the guys at the job site, you can jump off of it. I don't know exactly your role or what you play on a day to day. I know you said you were there with Connor earlier. I love that you're in the trenches. So number 2, I want to share the verses that we listen or we discussed this morning, and it's a bunch of men. It's only men. So if you're out there and you're like, can I get on it? Only men. So it's a men's fellowship, and I'll put the link down here. That way you get it's contractor fellowship. Everybody's invited. So here's the thing. It's Proverbs 11, verse 1. A false balance is an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. When pride cometh, then cometh shame, but with the lowly is wisdom. You hit that on the head, bro, with the way in which that you deliver the message about money and how you look at things and your heart and your intentions. I mean, that was Proverbs 11, 1 and 2. Sorry, I had to interject that.
I
That's
love
why
it.
I asked if you're a religious man. Uh, if you guys are out there and you're like, dude, this guy just went off on left field. Welcome to Roofing on the Rise podcast. Okay. We've got 120 plus episodes. I got to get the exact number. I've got a couple of those that we've like canceled just because we didn't agree with the people. So we're not counting those. It's okay though, because we're consistent. Um, you guys buckle up because it's the ride that we're on. Montgomery, thank you so much for coming on today. I know that we've been trying to like get an episode down and we're going to do one in person. But in between that time and now, I thought it was super important to sit down and record a conversation between the two of us. That way people could kind of understand the mind behind who you are. And again, ladies and gentlemen, the man is 25 years old. 25. Incredible feat that I give credit to both you and God that you've been able to accomplish. That's a huge blessing. Freaking awesome. So ladies and gentlemen, and if you're out there, Montgomery, how if they're looking to be a sales rep, they're looking to join a good awesome team in Houston, or if they're a business owner or property owner out there that is looking for a roof, how can they find Core 4 construction and roofing?
Facebook, Instagram at Core 4 Roofing. We keep it nice and sweet. Our cell phone number is 281-541-0027. We also have a 866-74-ROOFs number. Call either one of those. You'll reach our office directly. You can also visit our website, like I said, built by the great people over at SIN, core4roofing.com. Submit a contact form, commercial, residential. We get back to you within 1 to 2 hours at most. We'll get you taken care of and squared away.
Said 281-330-8004. Come on, baby. Win H-Town. Let's go.
Sure.
All right, hey, ladies and gentlemen, we are sponsored by the Chad T. Wilson Law Firm. When the insurance carrier denies, delays, and defends their position, don't hesitate to reach out to them. They have, well, man, I was reaching for my I guess I got a little JBL clip that I've got in my set, but I guess I was using that attributes because I got a reel out there. If you clicked on it, it's freaking awesome. I take it everywhere. It's a JBL clip. I have one left. I have one JBL clip. Maybe you get it, bro. Maybe you get it. If you want it, of course. It's a Chad T. Wilson branded JBL clip. No, that's not it. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're sponsored by Chad T. Wilson. They're an amazing law firm. Again, when the insurance denies, delays, or defends their position, reach out to me. I'll get you in contact with the right people over at Chad T. Wilson Law Firm. Your clients, and you deserve Chad T. Wilson, and you deserve Core 4 Roofing as well. Ladies and gentlemen, have a blessed day. Montgomery, thank you again for coming along. Have a blessed day.
Absolutely, brother. Keep doing your thing, and I'll see you soon.